Hey-oh, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. The only thing super about tonight's episode of the SUPER Smackdown is how super shitty it was, and that it was a super disgusting, super boring, super underwhelming disappointment to each and every one of us, as SmackDown has become every single Friday that we sit down to watch this piece of shit show that gets worse and worse every week. It's become the worst show of all the shows in all of professional wrestling, and even worse than all of that, the WWE, not only did they disappoint us, not only did they disgust us with Michael Cole telling us all night long at every opportunity that somebody's going to eat dog food, only to lie blatantly to each and every one of us, because the last time I checked, boys and girls, that is not how you eat food, unless Baron Corbin has a mouth on the back of his neck that we are all unaware of. Baron Corbin didn't eat anything, and we are going to talk about all of that and so much more right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the SUPER Smackdown Super Review right here on Super Sledgehammer TV. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Thank you for joining me once again tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I have been feeling like crap all week. I don't know what it is, if it's a cold or if it's a coronavirus. Oh my God, coronavirus! Oh! Coronavirus is nothing to be scared about. You should be more scared of SmackDown than you are of any virus coming from China or anywhere else throughout the entirety of the world, because this is deadly. This is deadly stuff. It was all I could do to keep my eyes open by the time we got to the end of this show tonight. Somebody's going to eat dog food. Can they emphasize it anymore? Can they tell you anymore about this stupid dog food? We had to see a big ridiculous bucket full of chili and canned pineapples and pumpkin and all kinds of crap, because it wasn't dog food. It wasn't dog food. Maybe there was a can of dog food in this big mess of shit that just looked like absolute disgust in two big aluminum bowls that was not interesting to anybody other than the one guy that thought this was funny.
Wah! Vince McMahon thinks this is funny. Done! Let's do a dog food spot again.
Why are we regressing back to things that sucked the first time? Oh, that's why, because we're watching World Wrestling Entertainment. Why isn't this old man in the trenches trying to get his football company up and running? It's supposed to be kicking off at the end of the month. Supposedly February is on the way. The XFL is coming. Go do that. Go do that and leave wrestling alone, because it sucks. It sucks. This whole show sucked. There was one moment, on this whole entire night that I thought was a good decision that they made. When they had Naomi return to SmackDown and lay the challenge down to Bayley, who was talking trash about being the most dominant and beating Lacey Evans and all this crap. And that was a good decision to move away from the Lacey Evans thing, to give Bayley something new to do, and Bayley versus Naomi, building that up towards WrestleMania. That's a pretty good match for SmackDown, for the Women's Championship, and we could see Naomi win the championship there and move away from all of this Bayley-Sasha nonsense, because I don't care about it anymore. However, that being said, I am so sick and tired of the WWE just bringing people back and then just giving them title shots. Naomi came back in the Royal Rumble. She had an impressive outing. Some of you guys might not think so, but it was okay. Fact of the matter is, she didn't win, so she shouldn't be getting shots at championships. Just because she's a former SmackDown champion doesn't automatically put you as next in line to face the champion as a challenger. But who else is there? So I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not going to crap all over it, but the logic decisions by the WWE are terrible. They could have had a series of matches for some of the girls, trying to find the number one contender for Bayley's championship for WrestleMania. Is this going to factor into the Elimination Chamber? Is Naomi going to get her shot there, which is something the WWE would do? Or do they have Bayley duck and dodge and tell her she's not going to give her a shot at the champion along the way? You're not getting a shot at my title. And then Naomi earns it in the Women's Elimination Chamber. We have the Raw main event already set up. We all already know Charlotte is going to go do whatever it is she's going to do somewhere else. Becky's probably going to be fighting Shayna Baszler. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is on the SmackDown side of things, this was the best move they could possibly make for the women, but they did it in a very bullshit way, which is typical WWE fashion. The same thing could be said for the tag team division. You had The Miz and John Morrison winning a number one contender's fatal four-way. That didn't really need to happen. This was unnecessary. This was a foregone conclusion that Miz and Morrison were next in line. These guys both respectively beat the champions in singles matchups, which should create an opportunity for them just based off of that. We didn't see the tag teams beat the tag team champions as they usually like to do, but we've seen the singles matchups, which is a thing they used to do, and I can appreciate that. But this was an unnecessary fatal four-way. There was nothing special about it, and all it really did was take some of the momentum away from Heavy Machinery. For what reason are they getting a tag team championship opportunity? For what reason are the Lucha... I almost called them the Lucha Brothers. Too many Lucha people around in my life anymore. The Lucha House Party. What are they doing in there? And you know what the Revival are doing in that match. They were there simply to take the pinfall, which is exactly what happened in this long, drawn-out way to give The Miz and Morrison a shot at the championships, the New Day's championships, at the Super Showdown tonight on SUPER Smackdown, where the New Day didn't even show up. We didn't even see the champions tonight. But we got this ridiculous fatal four-way tag team matchup, crowning number one contenders, which we already knew were pretty much the number one contenders. Who else is there? What has been going on? Are they not watching their own show? Do they feel like this isn't a repeat of things that we have already seen happen over and over again? Because most of the show was exactly that. The best thing about that tag team match happened following the match. Had nothing to even do with the match. The Miz and Morrison are successful, and then in the back, Otis and Tucker are feeling bad about their loss here, and they're trying to think about what they're going to do to get a shot at the championships in the future. And Mandy Rose comes out to talk to Otis and say she's really sorry about what happened in their matchup and this and that. And Otis took his shot, man. Otis shot his shot, man, tonight at Mandy Rose. Tucker told him, listen, this is the best opportunity you're going to have. If it don't happen now, it's never going to happen. Ask her now. So Otis lays it out there for Mandy Rose. He asks her out on a date next Friday night. Mandy says she's busy next Friday night, but the following Friday, she'll be available. So Otis jumps on that. She says, yes, I'm fine with that. Let's do it next Friday night. Yeah, Tucker. And then Mandy and Sonya go off for their match, and Tucker reminds Otis that that very day they are going to be on this date is Valentine's Day. So good for the WWE doing something interesting and continuing this saga of Mandy and Otis, which is an interesting love story that they're actually doing, as opposed to the dogshit love story that they are doing on Monday Night Raw. However, when you look at Monday Night Raw this week and you see how we ended Monday Night Raw with Randy Orton shocking the world and that whole entire segment with the return of the Rated R Superstar, and then you look at today's SmackDown and see how we went off the air tonight with SmackDown, all about the dog food. And you can't tell me SmackDown Live is not the worst of the two shows at this point. 2 hours of SmackDown was way harder to get through than a 3-hour episode of Monday Night Raw. How can it get any worse for the Blue Brand? Fox paid $2 billion for this show, and they're getting dog food. What happened to, we're going to Fox with SmackDown, and they want a more sports-centric show? They wanted to focus more on the athleticism. And here we are, back with the dog food. Once again on this show. Unbelievable. Very, very stupid. A lot of stuff on this night. Just like there was no Daniel Bryan really on the show, we had a look back at a WWE.com segment with Daniel Bryan following his loss to The Fiend at the Royal Rumble, where it was very, very heartfelt, very, very intense after his loss. Getting personal with us, telling us that he didn't want to show Birdie his wounds because it's just too much, and maybe his love for wrestling is too much, and he hopes one day that his daughter loves something in this world as much as he loves professional wrestling. That was awesome. That was awesome. Too bad it don't mean anything right now, because where's Daniel Bryan headed? He lost now twice to The Fiend. What is he going to do? What do you do next with Daniel Bryan? Where are they targeting The Fiend? The Fiend didn't show up tonight. Maybe he's too beat up to show up. He didn't have a Funhouse segment tonight to film. Nothing. Just a look back at what happened at the Royal Rumble. That's all they had for the champion and for Daniel Bryan. The two best acts on the show. And they weren't even there tonight. SUPER Smackdown, though. SUPER Smackdown. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeat Fire and Desire. Why? Mandy Rose is the hot hand right now. I don't want to hear that she can't wrestle and that her and Sonya can't wrestle. It's not about that at this point in the women's division. It's about listening to the crowd, seeing what's going on, and focusing the division on the people that are getting over. Mandy Rose is getting over by association with Otis. She was getting cheers and chants during this matchup. Nobody gives a flying fuck about Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross as a tag team. I don't care that they're former champions. I don't care that they were ever a tag team. They still don't have a tag team name. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They come out there, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and for what reason are they in this matchup? For what reason are they fighting Fire and Desire? For what reason are they pushing Alexa in the tag team division? Because the main event situation is all filled up and we have to find a way to keep little Miss Bliss happy. So we're going to make her back in the tag team division with Nikki Cross, and they're going to beat the one legit women's tag team that SmackDown actually has. A team that has a woman on it that the fans are currently wanting to see featured on the show. But no, we don't go with logic. We don't do the right thing. We give the win to the team here that's got the girl that everybody's got a crush on backstage. Instead of doing the right thing, giving Fire and Desire a little bit of time in the spotlight, having Otis play a part in their march to the tag team championships as well, it would be great. It would have been much better than being back on this road. And Michael Cole had to say 100 times during this matchup, "Oh, future shot at the tag team championships, the future shot at the WWE Women's Championships, and then somebody's gonna eat dog food." Fucking ridiculous. And they kept showing the guys stirring the shit, and I'm just like, why? Who stirs dog food? Why are you adding more cans to it? It was already pretty full. For dramatic effect, to make me even more sick. I was already sick to my stomach just from watching the show before you even showed me the vat of dog food. Get the hell out of here. The dog food nausea was about as sickening to me as it was to watch Braun Strowman defeat Shinsuke Nakamura tonight. I was certain. In my mind, I truly believed this was going to not have a real finish. And that Cesaro would have gotten involved, Sami Zayn would have gotten involved, and they were going to extend this somehow to get it to the Super Showdown at the very least, and Braun Strowman could have won over there, where he's probably much more popular still than he is here. Pulling the trigger on Braun Strowman beating Shinsuke Nakamura on a meaningless Super Smackdown on Super Bowl weekend means nothing. Means nothing. Maybe it'll be better for the Intercontinental Championship going forward. That's from a booking perspective, because they love them some Braun Strowman. I don't know why. If they would have loved him like this 2 years ago, when the rest of the world was in on a red-hot Braun Strowman, and he was the Intercontinental Champion then, or the World Heavyweight Champion then, this would not be the same Braun Strowman that we are seeing right now. But the Braun Strowman we are seeing right now is a 7-foot Big Show clone. He's been turned into a clown. He's been dancing with the New Day. He's been singing with Elias. He's been winning championships with 9-year-old kids. He's been doing all kinds of ridiculous things. He's not the monster among men anymore. He's the moron among men. And now he's the Intercontinental Champion, which traditionally this is not an Intercontinental Championship guy. The Intercontinental title is the workhorse title. It is the championship that goes to the guys that are the best in the ring, because the heavyweight championship are for the guys like Hogan and Cena and Roman, who can't really wrestle the way they should be wrestling to be called a world champion. They are the main attractions. And then you had the workers, the guys that can really go in the ring, the Shawn Michaels of the world, the Bret Harts of the world. And then they developed themselves with that championship to a point where they have to be taking the next step to a world title eventually. There has been nothing made important about Shinsuke Nakamura in his 199-day title run, where he defended the championship like 3 times. And now here he is with his 4th title defense in almost half a year, which is ridiculous. And now he's lost cleanly to Braun Strowman, despite the best efforts of his 2 henchmen to help him on top of it all. Braun Strowman steals one from Shinsuke Nakamura. Running power slam, 1, 2, 3. I don't get it. But maybe being on a Braun Strowman will put the Intercontinental title in a better light. Maybe at WrestleMania, the Intercontinental Championship title will get a good match. I don't know who they could possibly put against him at this point that's built up to where I would want to see them win an Intercontinental Championship. Certainly wouldn't give a shit if it was Sheamus. Certainly wouldn't give a shit if it was Shorty G. Neither one of them need to be in an Intercontinental Championship hunt, because neither one of them mean anything right now. Sheamus has done nothing to impress me. 2 wins against Chad Gable does not constitute an Intercontinental Championship run. He's going to have to do something in the future if that's what you want to do. I don't know, because I'm thinking about it. I'm looking, and there's really nobody else. Who else are you going to put there? Elias? I don't think that's going to be the case, but who else is there on SmackDown? I don't know. But I didn't like this decision. Braun Strowman, they totally made it predictable, too. They kept talking about how many days Shinsuke has been the champion, and they kept making mention of the fact that Braun Strowman has never won a singles championship. So what do you think was going to happen on tonight? I really didn't think they were going to do it. I thought they were going to have him lose by disqualification or something and then continue this on. But they just did it because they don't give a shit about Shinsuke. They did nothing to really protect him too much in this matchup, and he goes down as a loser. And I can't believe that of all the men that have ever held this belt, Shinsuke Nakamura is amongst the most underwhelming Intercontinental Champions that the company has ever had. And that's not his fault. That is their fault, because they don't even know how to book the Intercontinental title anymore. Case in point, Braun Strowman being your Intercontinental Champion. Obviously, Sami Zayn and Cesaro and Shinsuke were not happy, so they took to the back to start complaining to the new girl around here, the next Promo Bot 2006 version or whatever it is. And Elias decides to interrupt. Elias is playing his guitar in the ring. This pisses off Sami Zayn. This becomes a Warner Brothers moment, like watching Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny trying to have a conversation. It was just ridiculous. All for Sami Zayn to send Cesaro to the ring to try to shut up Elias in a segment where they would wrestle around in the ring a little bit. Elias got the better of Cesaro, and then it would be over. It wasn't a match. It wasn't turned into a match. It will be a match, I'm sure, next week. A match that I'm already not interested in, because I have a feeling they're going to give the win to Elias. And Cesaro's just going to be a perennial jobber. This guy's one of the best wrestlers on the entire roster. He could go with anybody. He could be an Intercontinental Champion himself. Should be the Intercontinental Champion. But instead he's wrestling this joker, Elias, who for some reason is still doing the same shit he's done from the first minute he stepped onto the main roster, and that includes just losing when he wrestles. So I don't know what they're going to do. If they put Elias versus Cesaro, these are two people the WWE loves to make lose. Obviously, somebody's going to have to win. I don't know, they might have some sort of a space-time continuum malfunction if they do that. I don't know. Ridiculousness. Who gives a shit? After this, we had the Sheamus versus Shorty G rematch. And whether you call him Shorty G or whether you call him Chad Gable, after losing 2 times in a row to Sheamus within a week's time, we had the Royal Rumble just last Sunday. They wrestled on the kickoff show, and we got pretty much the same exact match here. Same exact match that we've already seen. Nothing impressive about it. Nothing that makes it stand out. And Chad Gable, despite his best efforts, couldn't beat the bigger man. Who cares? This does nothing for anybody. It's a great thing that he changed his gimmick, right? Good thing Chad Gable's now Shorty G. It really did so much good for him to elevate him to a higher status on the roster. He's no longer a opener. He's no longer a vanilla midget. He's one of the WWE's biggest superstars because he's Shorty G and he owns it. He owns it and he lays to the mat, continuously getting his shoulders pinned to the 3 count. So it was a great change for you, bro. Nothing. Did nothing for either one of these guys. Did nothing for any of us. Absolute waste of time. As I said in the open, the most interesting part of tonight's show came when SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley made her way down to the ring. She cut a pretty decent heel promo on the fans. She went really against Lacey Evans. She was trying to dig it in there, talking about how she beat up Lacey Evans and proved her wrong in front of her own daughter, who had to sit front row and watch her mother become a loser. And she's just talking about how nobody beat her and that she has defeated everybody that there is and blah, blah, blah. And I thought for sure Lacey Evans was coming back out and they were going to go back down that road. But thankfully, it was the Glow that showed up. It was Naomi that we already talked about a little bit. She wants her title back. She wants a match with Bayley. Bayley wouldn't even let her finish before she would end up jumping all over her, attacking Naomi, hitting her with the championship belt. Naomi was attempting to hitting her with the championship belt. Naomi would duck and then caught Bayley with a very beautiful springboard kick to the face, getting the advantage of the champion and embarrassing her on national television. So on we go to Bayley versus Naomi, which at the very least is different from everything else that we've been force-fed over the course of the last few months. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Hopefully they make the build a little bit more interesting than how they just very underwhelmingly just threw her out there and now we're just going to have this matchup. So, you know, you take what you can get, right? The good with the bad. At least it's not Lacey Evans again, or Dana Brooke, or somebody else that we don't want to fucking see wrestling for a championship. And of course, the main event segment of the evening. I barely watched this match because I didn't give a shit. I was far more interested in what was actually the makeup of the dog food than the outcome of who was going to have to eat this shit. So now we said all night long, Michael Cole's telling us somebody's gonna eat dog food. We all knew what was coming. Roman Reigns and the Usos beat Baron Corbin and his retards. And then it's time for the payoff. Somebody's gonna eat dog food. Nobody ate dog food. Nobody. And why did Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler get away unscathed? Didn't the whole entire team have to suffer the punishment? Ridiculous. Baron Corbin gets 2 trash cans full of slop tossed on the back of his head. And that's eating. That's eating dog food. So blatantly misled us the whole night long. They clickbaited you. They clickbaited anybody that was interested in seeing this, or all of us that have to watch it to the end, because we are going to sit here and tell you guys just how much garbage the WWE has become on a weekly basis. If you missed SmackDown tonight, you missed absolutely nothing. It was essentially SmackDown's worst hits. They took all of the worst possible things they could do and put it together on this one show to end the month of January in the absolute worst way possible. Oh, comeuppance for Baron Corbin. Blah, 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 blah. Do you care? Does anybody care about this storyline at this point? I don't even think Baron Corbin cares about this storyline. In fact, when I seen earlier today on social media, I was scrolling through Twitter earlier this afternoon. There was a tweet from Dolph Ziggler quoting the WWE account that was promoting the main event for tonight, where he says, muted. He wanted to mute the WWE account when he saw the plans for tonight's episode of SmackDown, because just like the rest of us, he doesn't want to be in there doing the same thing every single week over and over and over again. His stock is plummeting less and less every single week. Bobby Roode's stock has plummeted and gets worse every single week. King Corbin has become absolutely worthless. There was a lot of potential when they put the crown on his head, but by the time we got here, it's just trash TV. It's just go away, continuous go away heat. Nothing has changed for Baron Corbin. He's just bringing more people down with him. And the Usos come back from a layoff and from all of their little issues and have a successful reunion with Roman Reigns, all to do this dog food shit. I'm sure they're glad that they're back for this and that they are not involved in the tag team division with The Miz and Morrison. And that might be some plan down the line to see a Miz and Morrison as the champions versus the Usos, and I'd be okay with that. But it shows you how stupid the WWE is. They have tag teams, and they have a tag team division, and they let everything just fall apart. They don't do anything to make anything seem important. And tonight's SmackDown Live was a great testament to all of that, because nothing on this show, nothing, with maybe the exception of the booking of the women's division and Otis scoring with Mandy Rose and landing that Valentine's Day date, SmackDown was uneventful, and you didn't miss much. My throat is killing me because I am still feeling very under the weather. I am exhausted, but I did my best to get over here and get this review to you guys, because I just had to talk about this whole terrible situation and how stupid they are and how they lied to you. They lied to you. Now, I didn't want to see a grown man eat dog food, but if you're promising me that that's what's going to happen when this show ends, and then the show ends and that promise goes unfulfilled, I have no other choice than to bring the hammer down on it and make you guys aware of what's actually happening, which is the WWE thinks we're a bunch of fools and that we're not paying attention and that we're going to laugh so hard at the dog food on his head that we're not going to realize, but wait, didn't they say he was going to be eating it? I remember. That's why I'm here for you guys. Sorry that AEW and NXT this week did not get reviewed. Okay, like I said, I've been sick all week. I'm still feeling the effects right now, but AEW, bleh, this week. Very boring, very uneventful. I didn't care too much about what was going on. NXT was the better of the two shows, only based off of the power of the Dusty Classic and the victory by the Bruiserweights when all was said and done. Other than that, NXT itself was really just an okay show, but it was the better of the two Wednesday night shows this week. So there's your Wednesday night review in a quick old wrap-up for you guys, because I'm sorry that I missed it. I just really wasn't feeling well, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. Don't worry, it's not the coronavirus or anything serious. It's just the common cold, and we're going to kick that cold's ass just like we kick wrestling's ass every time we fire up this camera. So thank you guys for sticking along with me and bearing with my personal bullshit like we all have that affects the things we do on a daily basis. And I love each and every one of you guys for being sledgeheads. And if you're not already a sledgehead and a loyal subscriber to this channel, now is the time for you to hit that subscribe button. Become one of the over 2,000 plus that know when you want your wrestling reviews bullshit free and full of fun and honesty. Sledgehammer TV is the place to be. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed today's broadcast, and then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they need to know just how bad this dog food situation especially is. Don't forget to watch everything else we have on the channel, which will be linked in the annotations up above my head, and that, my friends, is going to be your SmackDown Live review. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team. Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. Let me know what you think about this evening's SmackDown down in the comments section below, and I will see you next time. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com, where we don't eat dog food, ever.